When I think of the Big Bang era, it reminds me of Duke Ellington's song, "Don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. Shoo up, shoo up, shoo up, shoo up." The Big Bang era is from 1935 to 1946, and according to Trump Pot's 2008 article, "When Swing Was a Thing," 15-piece bands were dominating America. It all started at the Palomar Ballroom in Los Angeles, California. The opening act was Benny Goodman. The bands were very popular overseas as well as in the United States. In 1946, economic battles and troubles dismantled the Big Bang era. Duke Ellington and Count Basie were two of the most popular and important big band musicians during that time. Edward Duke Ellington was born in Washington, D.C. on April the 29th in 1899. He was born into a family who really enjoyed music. And according to Goldsmith's 2014 article in the Selling Press Biographical Encyclopedia, he received his nickname Duke because he loved luxury clothing and elegant clothing. He began to play piano at an early age. He didn't study music until he was a teenager, and according to the Black, Brown, and Beige article, Pierpoint stated that he learned how to play ragtime by ear and he began to play in nightclubs and cafes throughout Washington, D.C. According to Pierpoint, he also stated that you can't write music right, Ellington told the magazine more than 60 years ago, unless you know how the man that'll play it plays poker, and I thought that was really funny. He attended Howard University for a brief time. He left Howard University and began to compose his first music group in 1917. The Duke Serenades were the name of his first band, and that band didn't last that long. They eventually broke up because one of his drummers left the group. After the band dismantled, Duke joined another band called the Washingtons. The Washingtons played at the Hollywood Club and the Kentucky Club. Duke took over the band after the band leader left, and the band became very successful, and which led them to play from the Cotton Club from 1927 to 1930. The band became so famous that they were able to perform in the movie Check and Double Check. According to Goldsmith's article, Duke Ellington in the Salem Biographical Encyclopedia, he died in 1974. Duke composed over 3,000 songs in his lifetime, and his best songs is known as the song "Don't Mean a Thing If You Ain't Got That Swing," "Sophisticated Lady," "Mood Indigo," "Solitude," in a melatonin satin doll. He played for over 20,000 people in Europe and Latin America, the Middle East, and Asia. In the longevity of his career, he received many awards, including the Grammy and the NAACP award for his works in the African American community and his outspoken music. And if you listen closely to Duke's music, you can hear that he was fighting for African American rights. Duke Ellington was called a genius because of the way that he composed his music. His music would set the bar for generations to come as far as the future of jazz, pop, and theater. His music set the tone for jazz with empowering and meaning Renaissance medicine. Excuse me, messages that show the African American experience on a larger scale. The other great musician during the Big Bang era was Count Basie. He was born in Red Bank, New Jersey, August 12, 1904. In the 2014 Salem Biographical Encyclopedia, it stated how he began to learn how to play the piano at a young age. And his father was a pianist. His parents loved different types of music. Fat Wallace became his mentor and taught him how to play the organ. Basie performed with different groups in New York City from 1923 to 1926. He eventually joined the Blue Devils from 1928 to 1929. His group became so popular that it drew the attention of James Hammond. And James Hammond actually offered him a record deal, and the group expanded to 14 members, and they changed their name to Count Basie Orchestra. According to the King and Kim article, Count Basie Salem. In 1938, he was invited to perform with some of the band members at Carnegie Hall, and they joined John Hammond on stage to perform Honeysuckle Rose. orchestra became so popular they went on the tour across the country. In 1939, Bessie Panzer, they appeared in numerous films. After the stock market crashed in the United States, um, the USA found a new beat by enjoying music of big bands. The big band eras were very prominent of the 1920s and 1930s, according to Winstock's article in 1991. The music was indelibly etched in American culture that virtually no person living at the time was not touched by it so deeply. According to the Britannic Encyclopedia, the 1950s band showcased the sound and style Bassie was to employ for the remainder of his career, although were too unoccasionally experiments of the African and an album of African rhythm and avant-garde compositions that still managed to remain faithful to the overall Bassie sound. Ellington gave a verbal accounts to music and moods that he created. His reputation increased. Since his death was repackaging of his signature music, which became bestsellers. Um, Duke Ellington and Count Basie went on to be prominent figures for the African American community and also others as well that actually showed people how to excuse me, showed people how to compose music and to learn how to write music with the ear. Count Basie and Duke Ellington were the two popular big band musicians during that time frame. Even though the depression came along, their music still was very live and very vibrant. Excuse me, vibrant. And it went on and it's in the history now. So a lot of people are still listening to Duke Ellington and Count Basie.